Hey, welcome to the Willie Mochi channel. I'm your host, the bad brains of the business, the best in the business with the lowest budget, poorer than the rest, more righteous nonetheless. Yes, applause. Thank you. One Piece chapter 1096, unsolicited thoughts. Here they are. All right, we're still in the flashback of Kumanchi on God Island, God Valley. Yes, and this chapter begins with its title being Kumanchi, which is a nickname, I believe, given to Kuma by young Jinny. Yes, they are friends now. So chapter 1096 begins, and the celestial dragons are 200 celestial dragons are hunting 150 rabbits essentially being slaves, with 13 special grade rabbits. I'm not sure if they're special grade rabbits because they are from a particular family or have a particular degree of strength. That wasn't mentioned. And in the midst of this conflict, it shows that Garland has got some rivals, or some fellow god knights looking to prove themselves. We have one from the Manyama family that looks like a Kid Next Door lookalike. We have one that is a Stelly lookalike, and then one with a gas mask. Meanwhile, Vice Admiral Garp is enjoying his vacation on an island somewhere, listening to music, and he receives a call from Fleet Admiral Kong, I believe, and Admiral Kong is requesting that Garp go to God Valley and essentially fortify the Marines' forces against pirates. But Garp rejects that because he says they poked the bear, which is Hachinosu Island, which is the pirate island, and stole one of their prized treasures. So Garp is not willing to defend the Marines and the Celestial Dragons for doing this, and he thinks they shouldn't have done it, essentially. But this is all up until Kong mentions that Roger is there, and as soon as Kong mentions that Roger is there, immediately Garp ponies up and heads to God Valley. Yes, treasure of the pirates. I thought that was stolen from the pirates was maybe an ancient weapon or something, but in this case, I think that it truly is the Azure Devil Fruit, Kaido's Devil Fruit. Yes. In the next pages, the great Okama himself is delivering a motivational speech to the slaves, and in it he tells them that they need to stop wondering and thinking about surviving this conflict, because there have been no past survivors of these conflicts, these hunts. And Jinny then mentions that there are prizes for winning the hunt, but I don't understand how. So the prizes are not for the slaves, must be. The prizes must be for the Celestials who win this hunt, or the God Knights who win this hunt, because if there are no slave survivors, then it's odd that there would be prizes for them. Anyway, moving on. So King Okama plans to get to the center of the island and retrieve these prizes and use the power of the prizes to essentially flee the island. And Jinny mentions that at this point she's actually a master a thief and informations expert, and she has leaked the news of this event to the pirate world at large. So pirates are already on their way to God Valley in order to disrupt what is going on there. So this means major decoy for the slaves who are looking to escape the island. Young Kuma raises his hand at this point and agrees to volunteer to go to the center of the island and grab these devil fruits before the winners are able to get them and use the power to flee the island. Wow, very cool, this young Kuma. And Ivankov and Jinny, these characters are very interesting people, and the legend of Kuma just continues to grow. As a young boy, we see that he already had this, compass for saving people and justice and everything, and that only continues to grow as he becomes later the king of the Sorbet Kingdom and then a warlord of the sea. The legend of Kuma just continues. This guy is amazing. Yeah, so on the next page we see a big kaboom, and the invasion has begun. Pirates have begun entering the east shore of the island. Entering from the east shore of the island, we have the Rux pirate, the famous John, Kaido, Glorissa, Stussy on the shoulder, Whitebeard, Golden Lion, Shiki. Can we say Edward Weevil confirmed as Whitebeard's son? Please, in the comments, Edward Weevil confirmed as Whitebeard's son. It is absolutely confirmed here. And from there, just in the nick of time, we see the future Pirate King has now arrived himself. I can't even believe that I'm saying this, but it's absolutely incredible. I think Garland is definitely sweating at this moment because he tells the Marines to fall back and for the Holy Knights to pull up with him, because he's going to be basically the vanguard in this battle, the protection for the Celestials. Yes, and the other thing I have is a hot take in this area. A lot of people are going to say, hey, dude, whoa, you're ridiculous. Yeah, I have a hot take here, and that is that Goldie Rogers' crew is looking quite measly with the Rocks Pirates. The Rocks Pirates are star-studded cast, okay? And the Gold Rogers crew, Sunbelle, Scopper Gaban, Silver's Ray Lee, are they going to be able to handle the likes of Kaido, Big Mom, who's looking massive and super cool, John, Golden Lion, Shiki, Whitebeard? I can't imagine that they will be able to. All right, so back on the center of the island, Kuma and Ivankov have actually found the prizes and just then are attacked by Big Mom. Big Mom grabs the devil fruit out of Ivankov's hands, and Kuma is told to hurry and quickly eat his. He eats his and just then is knocked back by Saint Garcia out of nowhere. As he rises from the ground, he tells Saint Garcia that he wants to save many people of the world, just like Nika, and Saint Garcia tells him, hey, well, this is why you guys cannot be allowed to survive, people of your race, the Buccaneers. And what I think is happening here is that essentially the Buccaneers are of this race, one of the races that went against the government of old during the Void Century, and so the current government still holds a grudge against them. Yeah, and so after this, there's a small panel where Rox yells at Roger, and he's like, Roger, don't get in my way. Rox is the only one that we don't get to see on the panel. He's just voiced over. And what I'm thinking is that, I don't know, maybe Oda's still teasing us, or he just can't reveal Rox yet because it would give away too much of the story. I'm not really completely sure. Fast forward, and the God Balance incident is over. Kuma and Ivankov have escaped, and Ginny, by way of, I believe, the pawpaw fruit that Kuma has consumed on God Valley, and they are now in the Sorbet Kingdom. Yes, the kingdom where Kuma will essentially become the king of in the later future, and eventually be dubbed the Tyrant King. So they're shacking up inside of a church, and very reminiscent of Kuma and his Bible, where he carries in his adulthood. And Ivankov is telling Kuma essentially that his hands are the hands of liberation because it allowed them to escape and free these slaves and everything. So that's really cool. Very in line with the Nika that he is essentially mirroring. And so after that, Ivankov has to go away back to the sea, but Ginny and Kuma make a home there. Very cool scene, very cool characters as Ivankov is setting off to sea, and very cool as Kuma and Ginny decide to stay on the island and make a life for themselves. So I really enjoy this chapter. I really enjoy these characters. I'm a super fan of Kuma now. I was a fan of Ivankov before, but I'm a super fan now. Ginny's cool too. Like, oh my god, I really love these characters like so much, and it's been a short time that I've had this, flashback with them, but I absolutely love them. And yeah, so Kuma and Ginny begin starting this new life on the Sorbet Kingdom, and Kuma is essentially chopping wood, and Ginny is selling the wood. He's the brawn, and she's the brains of the operation. And Kuma, still being 9 years old, he gets into like conflict with other kids, but then she kicks their asses. So there's a symbiotic relationship going on, and then he uses the pawpaw fruit to like push out the pain that they've experienced. And we now know that those guys, some of those guys that Kuma ended up having conflicts with as a kid, ended up becoming part of Bonnie's crew later on. So really, pulling on your heartstrings there. And did I mention that in the cover page that Zoro is playing a game of musical chairs with these chihuahuas, and one of them steals the Wado Ichimonji? I don't know if that's foreshadowing for Zoro being defeated by the Rokugan user or not. No. We all know that's not possible, right? Anyway, thank you guys. See you next time.